to Red Bull Pilates HQ. Today we're going to be working on lengthening the hip flexors and strengthening the lower abdominals. Grab yourself a little towel, you'll need it for later. First job, lie down on your back, hands in your rib cage, breathe. Expand the rib cage as you breathe in, through the nose. Close the rib cage as you breathe out, through the mouth. Purse the lips as always, blowing some candles out. Now just tune into the muscles we're trying to work today, which are these lower transverse abdominals, these kind of lower ones that wrap around. Once you find your belly button, go an inch either side of the belly button, and then just walk your hands and your fingers down a couple of inches and dig in a little bit. You need to dig underneath a couple of muscles. And then just cough a few times. Probably not the best cue at the moment to cough a few times. Now, as you do cough, you'll notice that you should feel a few kind of muscles like tensing and hardening up. These are the muscles we're looking for today. Do that blowing out. You probably feel those muscles switch on again. And just go into a position where you're imprinting your lower back into the mat. You should feel those muscles again switch on. Now we're trying to control the contraction. So as you do breathe out, you're going to squeeze those muscles in and down. Good. Do that a few more times. Just tune into these muscles. Breathe in. Breathe out. Squeeze those muscles in and down. And my neighbours have started drilling. We're going to start to roll the front of your pelvis towards you. Engage the lower stomach muscles and lift one vertebrae at a time up and away from the floor. And then slowly lower back down to the bottom. So just a glute bridge, but just keeping an eye on these lower stomach muscles, making sure they're nice and engaged, nice and tight. Slowly up, slowly down. Good. Get to the top. Make sure they're on. Now if you make sure that those lower abs are on, your lower back's not going to be doing much. You'll already be getting this little tuck. You'll be getting this feeling of your hip flexors lengthening, and I want to lengthen the hip flexors even more. So I want you to actively send your knees just forwards a few inches. You might need to reposition your shoulders, squeezing the glutes on. So you feel this work going through the front of the legs, that's a bit of a stretch. You'll feel this work going through your hamstrings and through the glutes, but I want those lower abdominals to stay squeezed on. And we're just going to have a little stretch and a play around through this position. So your first job is to lower your right hip down a few inches. Left hip stays where it is. Squeezing the right glute on, the right hip comes back up to centre. Left hip drops. Left hip back up to centre. Both hips drop. Right hip down. And up. Left hip down. And up. Both hips drop. One more time. Right hip down. And up. Left hip down. And up. Both hips drop. Good. Come all the way back up to the top. And start that process again. This time dropping the left hip down first. And up. And the right hip down. And up. Then both hips down a few inches. Left hip. Both hips down. So we're just wiggling in and rotating a little bit of space through the vertebrae. Come all the way back up to the top. And this time the hips are going to stay the same height. You're going to bring both hips over to the right hand side. Your knees stay still. Your shoulders stay still. You're getting this little movement of the whole unit of the hips across and back to centre. And then to the other side. And back to centre. And then drop down a few inches. Go again. Right. Centre. Down a few inches. Breathe in. Last time, back up to the top. Same process, but starting off left first. Okay, feet go a little bit wider than the mat. You're going to start to rotate and just open out through the legs and the hips. Over to one side, look away from the stretch, back to centre, over to the other side, back to centre. And just keep rolling through that little rotation. Breathe in. As your knees fall to the side, breathe out as you centre. Good, so we're getting this little stretch through the lower back. And as you drop down, you're getting this like opening sort of stretch through the front of the hip, maybe on the inside of the near touch. Last time. Good, back to centre. Okay, 2 different positions, or 3 different positions. This is your lower back lifted up too far away from the mat in the next exercise. That's going to be you loading up and working too hard for your lower back. Neutral spine is somewhere in the middle. We're going to imprint the lower back into the mat there today. So I want your lower back kind of pushing down slightly into the mat, closing the space between your lower back and the floor. Take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Lift one knee up into tabletop position. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift the other knee up into tabletop position. Feet together. And then just again, have a little poke and prod about for those lower stomach muscles. You'll probably feel them on, hopefully you do. They're probably kind of working in this position, especially if you're imprinting your lower back down to the mat. And this is the area where you should be feeling the work in the next exercise, not your lower back, definitely not your lower back. We're going to breathe in, lengthen one leg away. Breathe out, back to tabletop position. Breathe in, lengthen the other leg away. Breathe out, back to tabletop position. Good. Now, if you feel your lower back, maybe try and kick a little bit higher, or keep one foot down on the floor. So this is one option. If you're not feeling your lower back and you feel you can work a little bit harder, you can start to extend away a little bit lower. You could start to extend both legs away at the same time. So you'll notice all the way through, hopefully, the rib cage isn't popping out, the lower back isn't lifting away from the mat. That's not the exercise there. The exercise is imprinted. That's when you're going to get the good work for your lower abdominals. You will be using a little bit of hip flexor. They have to work here, but we want kind of 80% abs, 20% hip flexors. Got about 30 seconds left. If some of you are really strong, you can start to do that. Double leg lift, double leg lower. Which isn't that popular rib cage out, you're keeping your lower back still. Got 10 seconds left. Start to get a little bit hard now. 3, 2, 1. Good. Wrap your arms around your legs. Hug your knees into your chest. Just rock from side to side. Alright, so lower abs switched on. Lower back's getting a little bit of a stretch now. We've just warmed the hip flexors up a little bit. That's what we're going to next. We're going to stretch off one of the hip flexors. So we had that towel at the start. You're going to chuck that down on your mat. You're going to put your right knee down onto it. And you're going to take a big step forward with your left foot. Left hand on the inside of the knee. And just rock and roll. Looking for a stretch and trying to find a stretch for the front of this hip flexor. But you'll feel loads of different stretches in this position. Some of us will feel the hamstring stretching, some of us will feel the inner thigh stretching through the left side, or the right side maybe. Just have a little hunt around, find the good stretches that work for you. Opening your hips out isn't just about opening the hip flexor, it's about opening all the muscles that are closed in this little hip capsule. So we're just going to play about with our different positions. I want to walk your hands away from your left leg. The right hand keeps you on the floor. Left hand is going to send your left knee left a little bit and just find some stretches around there. Really slide it forwards, backwards. Good. Come more back to centre. Left hand again stays on the floor. Right hand is going to lift up to the ceiling. Good. Some of you might prefer to keep the back knee away from the floor here. You can play between both positions, whatever feels nicest for you. Good. And then from there, we're going to come a lot taller, and we're going to, before we go into the lunges, we're just going to find where this little hip flexor muscle is and how it relates to the lower abdominals, how it relates to this anterior pelvic tilt. So find your position here, looking for a stretch again through the front of the leg. You'll need to, for a lot of you, you need to close your back up a little bit, tense your right glute on, and kind of press the hip forward slightly. You should start to feel a stretch going down the front of the leg. It's kind of this area, underneath the bony part of the hip, going straight down. Keep tucked, and then lengthen. Both arms up. Reduce sometimes a little bit shaky, so don't panic if that feels a bit wobbly. Your lower back wants to get out of the stretch, it wants to lengthen and roll. You need to stay tucked. So you'll notice if you squeeze your glute on and you squeeze those lower abs on, you'll feel a better stretch, which is important. Good. You know we've been in this stretch for quite a long time. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Good. Hands down either side of your foot. Tuck your toes on the back leg. Come up to again this deep lunge position. Tucking your tailbone. Lengthen your back leg a little bit more. Good. Just stay there. Alright, so we're just playing about with this length of the hip flexor. Stay tucked, stay neutral. You're going to tilt forwards, angle forwards. Tilt back up to the top. When you get up to the top, bring your arms high. Breathe in. Try not to collapse. Keep the rib cage controlled. Keep the lower abs squeezed out. Come forwards. You might feel a bit of a hamstring stretch. Try not to curve your back. Come back up to the top. Breathe in. Breathe out, go forwards. Breathe in, tilt up. Just 3 more. Two more. Last one. Good. Then just step your back foot forwards and just open out a little bit. So we're going into a bit of a balance now. Keeping the left foot down on the floor. You're going to lift your right knee up. Rotate the leg out to the side and put your foot on the inside of your calf, not on the knee. If you're more flexible, you can come up a little bit higher. Get it on the inside of the leg and the side of the calf for today. Good. Tall body. Focusing on definitely the balance, but definitely keeping this openness and rotation out of this right leg. And just hang out there. Hands maybe in prayer position. Or up and above the head, a little bit shakier, a little bit more wobbly. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Come to the front of your mat. Breathe in. Lift your hands up. Breathe out. Fold forwards and down. Step back 1 foot at a time to plank position. Long neck, long arms. Rotate the crease of the elbows forwards. Engage the abs. Engage the glutes. Stay there for 5, 4, 3, 2. Knees down. Child's pose. Just take some deep breaths in and out there. Sitting the hips back a little bit extra. Lovely. Alright, come down to your lying position again. Lie on your back. Come into a little bit of extra, like upper abdominals now, and then we're going to load up the lower abdominals as well. Fingertips to temples, elbows wide. Take a deep breath in. Allow the ribcage to come out a little bit, and then breathe out. Curl up. Allowing the lower back to imprint into the mat on the way up. Breathe in, curl down. Breathe out, curl up. Breathe in, curl down. Using the stomach muscles so not much pressure going through the neck, hopefully. Not trying to jam your head forwards, you're trying to curl the whole unit up as one. Now as you do curl up, we're on the lower abdominals, squeezing in and down. Not popping up and out, squeezing in and down. Okay, can you do that movement in tabletop position? If you can, great. If you can't, keep the knees down. This little bit of shakiness on the way up that I'm getting, hopefully a lot of you are getting that as well. That means you're controlling the movement. And you're moving slow enough. So like what we did at the start, you can curl up and extend one leg away. You can curl up, extend both legs away. And it should be getting a little bit burning now through the abs, around the rib cage maybe, but hopefully through those lower stomach muscles are starting to engage with you again. Now in 10 seconds you're going to curl up, you're going to hold the top position. You might be comfy having your hands behind your head and your head relaxing into the hands, so staying heavy. Good. So if your feet down are down, that's great. If one leg's extended away, that's great. We'll start here. One leg away, curl up, hold, and then swap sides. And then swap sides. Or you can go both legs straight, one leg down, one leg up. We'll be getting burning now, don't panic. We've got 10 seconds left. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Well done. Both feet down. Relax. Just rotate a few times. Good. Rock and roll forwards, backwards, forwards until you get to this seated position. And then we're starting this little hip flexor stretch and opening sequence with your left knee this time on the mat. Right foot forwards. Elbow on the inside of the knee. And just start to move forwards, backwards, side to side again. Looking for a stretch. Maybe through the front of the left leg. Probably on the inside of the right leg here. Probably a little bit through the hamstring. Again, we're walking. Our hands away from the leg. Left hand stays where it is. Right hand externally rotates that right knee. Just move forwards and backwards. Might feel a bit tighter than the other side, might feel a bit looser than the other side. Just keep looking for little bits of stretch. And just change your position every now and again. See if you can open up another little area. Slowly back to centre. Come tall through the body. Engage those lower stomach muscles and tuck the tailbone. Looking for that stretch through the front of the hip, front centre of the hip. Maybe hands up. It's a little bit shaky. You sometimes get this solid stretch when you go hands up. Just down the rib cage a little bit more. It's good if you get that. Just breathe in and out. Another 20 seconds here. Can you lock in a bit more? Making sure you're not curving that lower back, but you're keeping your tailbone tucked. Good for 5, 4, 3, 2, hands down, lunge position. Good. So again, tall body, tailbone tucked, lower abdominals engaged. You're getting a good stretch through this left hip, a little bit of work through the right glutes and the right leg. Make sure your knee position is good as always, not rotated in, but externally rotated in around your third and fourth toe. Breathe in, hands up. Breathe out, tilt. Forwards. This is a little bit of a hamstring stretch as you rotate your tailbone backwards that little bit extra. Breathe in, come up. Breathe out, tilt forwards. This in-breath will be expanding your rib cage a little bit, so you've got to focus on keeping your abs engaged, your tailbone tucked, keep that stretch. As soon as you lose that stretch for the back hip, you've lost your lower back position. Let's keep all that engaged. 2 more. One more. Step your back foot forwards. Good. This time your right foot stays on the floor. Your left leg lifts up. Externally rotates. And your sole of your foot comes onto your calf. Hands in prayer. Keeping external rotation from the left hip, but also external rotation from the right hip. Don't collapse in, that's when you're going to start to go a little bit wonky, lean to the side too much. Low abdominals engaged, hips open, hands to prayer, and maybe overhead. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Good, well done. Alright, get the towel out of the way. Last couple of exercises. Breathe in, hands up. Breathe out, fold. Forwards and down. Bend your knees a little bit extra. Step back. 1 foot at a time into plank. Engage the abs. So the lower abs squeeze up and in. Keep the back neutral. The neck long. The shoulders away from your ears. The crease of the elbow rotated forwards. Lower abdominals squeezing up and in. Send your focus there. For 5, 4, 3, 2, child's pose. Okay, lovely. Last exercise. Come into a bit of a V-sit position. We've stretched all the hips out, we've activated the lower abdominals, so what you should feel when you come into this V-sit position in a couple of seconds is that the lower abdominals are working quite hard. You might still feel your hip flexors, but the more you do this, the more you'll feel the lower stomach muscles working. Okay, arms out in front of you. That's a C-shaped back, that's fine, but I don't want that one today. I want you to go into a neutral spine, as much neutral as you can get. Head retracted, shoulders away from the ears. Lower abdominal squeezed in and down, hold it there. Can you tilt backwards a little bit? You might start to shake. Okay, first job, try and push your feet down into the floor. It's really hard, you won't be able to generate much power down, but you'll feel those lower stomach muscles starting to work a little bit extra. Hold it there. We've got about 45 seconds left. Can you lift 1 knee up? Can you lift 2 knees up? It starts to get a little bit shaky. If it does get shaky, that's great. Good, we've got about 30 seconds left. Can you lift your hands up a little bit higher and look up towards them? If you can't do any of these progressions, don't worry. Just stay in this kind of lower position. If you can, come up with me with your hands, do that. Last job, can you straighten your legs a little bit more? Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, tense your abs, 3, 2, well done, feet down. Fold forwards, that's hard. Lie back down on your back. Soles of the feet together, both knees out. Hands on your ribs, breathe. In and out. In and out. Last time that. Breathe out, hands up, give yourself a clap. Well done. Keep moving, stay strong.